Welcome to BrainScan, our weekly live video. Yeah, that hopefully is going to be awesome. Our weekly live stream preview of all the brand new comics hitting our shelves at Green Brain Comics. We'll take you on a guided tour through this week's latest releases, from big name superhero sagas to must-read indie gems. It's your early access look at what's fresh, what's wild, and what's waiting for you on New Comic Book Day. Hey, sorry about the technical difficulties that we had last night. We're just gonna jump right into the video this morning. I'm running solo, so please enjoy the show. And good morning, Jay Blue. Welcome, it's great to have you. Let's start off in the kids section. We got a new SpongeBob SquarePants 5-minute story collection, a nice soft hardcover of short stories perfect for the young one in your life that you can enjoy too. And then let's just move right on over to the manga section. We got a bunch of new stuff this week, including Volume 5 of Blue Lock, Episode Nagi. A brand new series starts up, Phantom Busters by Neo Shoko. And down here we got something for the kids. We got the new Pokemon Scarlet Violet Volume 3. All right. Yes, good morning, and I'm feeling much better about the video stream this morning. Let's see, we got a City Hunter Omnibus Volume 1 in the mature manga, as well as the standalone I Don't Know How to Love from Yu Machio, maybe related to Ralph Macchio. All right, let's spin around over to the original graphic novels. We'll kick this off with Alienation Final Cut. That is an original graphic novel that Monty made their pick of the week. Woo! This cool thing, From Memon to Mori. It's a new graphic novel from Shinsuke Yoshitake. This is bordering on philosophy for all ages. You may catch the pun in the name. We got a softcover volume of Kent State, 4 Dead in Ohio from Durf Back Durf, stated as required reading for all Americans by the Library Journal in its starred review. Best of the year from Forbes, Library Journal, the New York Times, NPR, and Publishers Weekly. And for what it's worth, my pick of the week back when it was in hardcover. We got a new volume of Monster Fan Club from Shaky Kane and Floating World Comics. This is an anthology featuring all kind of different creators, of course, anchored by the great Shaky Kane. Moving on over to the erotica romance section, we got a new issue, number 2 of 4 from Maria Lovett's Artificial. Beautiful work there. Very nice cover. Also, good morning to my other half, Katie Merritt. As I back up very confidently over to the counter, I'll just point out the new Chip Zdarsky comic news. And we've also got an ash can for the upcoming Dark Horse series called American Caper. Those are free to all y'all mature enough to enjoy it. All right, moving right on over to the horror crime shelf. We got a volume 2, or I should say book 2, of American Vampire from Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque, also featuring the Vertigo logo. Vertigo's back, baby. Yeah. And then we got a volume 4 of Bitterroot that collects the most recent miniseries all in one volume, The Next Movement. The Haunted Box, a new series from Joseph Schmalke and Midnight Comics. Let This One Be a Devil. This is a softcover collection of the American Gothic horror miniseries from James Tynion and Peter Kowalski on art. Vampirella Armageddon, number 4, and World Tree Volume 3. Katie was nice enough to put in Alienation as Monty's pick of the week. I forgot to mention that the Monster Fan Club was Sean's pick of the week. Moving on down to the middle shelf for horror crime, we got a new 30 Days of Night miniseries called Falling Sun, revisiting that property, now written by Rodney Barnes with art by Chris Sheehan. A new issue of EC Comics Catacomb of Torment, as well as a volume 2 of Epitaphs from the Abyss. This is a new mini-series from Distillery and writer Stephanie Phillips with art by Mark Lamming. This is called Endeavor. It's kind of like Lord of the Flies on a boat. Good as Dead number 2 from David and Maria Lapham from Image Comics Skybound. And HECTOR PLASM, Hunt the Bigfoot. This is a new series from creator Benito Sereno, and it's my pick of the week. Hello Darkness gets a new issue featuring short stories from R.L. Stine, Francesco Francavilla, and many more. And we get a new series from Mark Spears Monsters, The Monster and the Wolf. This is a trick-or-treat blind bag first issue. Limited quantities available. They Choose Violence, number 5 of 5. A very controversial miniseries. And The War, number 3 from Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan. And Rodney Barnes is back with Zombie Love Halloween 2025 special, 3 Tales of Terror from Rodney Barnes, R.J. Barnes, Manhouse, Simon Kodransky, and Anthony Piper. Ooh, looks like Katie gave the Good as Dead 2 big thumbs up. One of her favorite creative teams of the Laphams. All right, let's spin around here to the fantasy adventure shelf. Got a new series from Jimmy Robinson, the man that brought you Bomb Queen. This is Artillery 1 of 3. A new Dungeons and Dragons miniseries called The Fallbacks from Greg Pak and Wilton Santos. Fire and Ice is back from Dynamite Entertainment, Bill Willingham and Leo Manco with a Joseph Michael Linsner cover. A 4th issue for Ghost Pepper, and a very special new issue of I Hate Fairyland from Scotty Young and guest artist Jay Foskett. Jay Foskett, of course, one of the great Detroit area talents and one of the most phenomenal caricaturists of Popeye. And look who makes a guest appearance in this issue. We also have a 1 in 10 variant by Scotty Young, featuring their main character wearing the flesh of Popeye. The Last Witch 4 of 5 from Connor McCreary. Oops, Lucky Devils. We do have a copy. It's going to be back on the shelf in just a few minutes. Lucky Devils number 5, featuring the return of the creators of 8 Billion Genies, Charles Soule, and Ryan Brown. The Plot Holes. This is a collection from Sean Gordon Murphy of that mini-series that came out about a year or so ago. All kind of fun in that book. And a 2nd issue of Sonia Reborn from Christopher Priest and Miracolo on art. Yuletide is a new, what's going on here? Yuletide is a new 3-issue miniseries from George Northey and Rachel Arano with Michelle Madsen. That's all on the fantasy adventure shelf. Now let's move on over to Sci-Fi Adventures. This is the 2nd issue of Adventures of Lumen N from James Robinson and Phil Hester. Also a 2nd of 4 from Blade Runner Black Lotus, written by Nancy A. Collins with art by Jesus Hervas and a Danny cover. A new miniseries featuring the new franchise Craniacs from Joe Simcoe. And Flash Gordon number 12 from Mad Cave Studios, Jeremy Adams, Eater Messias. The Godzilla Kaisei era continues with Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone number 3. Beautiful art by Pablo Tunica. Yes. Kaiju Max Book 3. This is collecting volumes 5 and 6, completing the Kaiju Max library from Xander Cannon. One Last Trick from Midnight Factory, Joseph Schmalke, J.K. Woodward. And Save Now, a new miniseries from Bad Idea and creators Matt Kint with art by Tomas Giorello. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Seeds of Salvation continues with a number 2. And Terror Bites, a new comic from Mark Russell with art by Felix Ruiz. That's it for the Sci-Fi Adventures shelf. Let's move on over to Indie Super Action. We've got a new issue of Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt with a Lucio Perillo cover and a Joseph Michael Lindner cover. Gotcha Man number 13 with Chris Batista. And G.I. Joe number 12, Joshua Williamson, Marco Federa, and a 1 in 10 by Quay. Yeah, can't remember his first name, but it's awesome. The Herculoids number 9. And Invincible Universe Battle Beast, Robert Kirkman, Ryan Otley cover on A, and a 1 in 10 from Ed McGuinness. I think. No, I'm going to check. That 1 in 10 is from E.J. Sue. I was wrong twice. Racer X returns with 2 of 8 from Mark Russell, Nuno Platti. Spawn 369, breaking a record with every issue. And now in the Spawnoverse, it's the Haunt Complete Collection, Robert Kirkman and Todd McFarlane. Survive from Rob Venditti and Doug Braithwaite, Bad Idea continues with 2 of 3. Eduardo Rizzo cover. And a new kid-friendly Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series by Mikey Levitt and Louis Joyce. TMNT Shredder, the spin-off miniseries from Dan Waters and Michelle Bandini, continues with a number 2. Santaluco cover and Kyle New on B. Lucio Perillo art on the cover for Thundercats number 19. Declan Shelvey, Drew Moss. Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa, number 2. And finally in Indie Super Action, it's Witchblade number 15. That does it for Indie Super Action. Now let's move right on over to the DC Universe. We'll kick it off with a big Batman Black and White. This collects the majority of the black and white stories told told from a bunch of different creators throughout the years, collecting the first 3 volumes of Batman Black and White, as well as short stories that appeared in various series. And then we get a new deluxe edition of Darwin Cook's Batman Ego, the book that really kicked off Darwin Cook's career in comics. Of course, he had a career in animation before that, but here's where it all started for print. Batman Superman World's Finest, number 44, featuring a solo adventure by Robin and Supergirl Road Trip. A new issue of Catwoman, number 80. And we got a B cover from Derek Chu. Absolute Flash continues from Jeff Lemire. And we got a B cover from Haining. Justice League Red from Saladin Ahmed and Flint Henry, Blood Sacrifice. The New Gods, number 11, the penultimate edition of this 12-issue miniseries from Ram V and Evan Cagle. Nightwing 131, super creepy cover, Master of Puppets. Ooh, we got a new DC Finest volume featuring Supergirl Body and Soul. This is written by Peter David with art by Gary Frank and others, collecting a very important yet somehow confusing history of Supergirl. Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, number 5 of 5, capping off this miniseries from Ryan North and Mike Norton, Jay Lee cover. And Superman Unlimited, side by side with the Crypto Knights in issue 5, Dan Slott, Raphael Albuquerque. The first of DCKO tie-in issues kicks off in the Titans, number 28, Evacuation Earth. And finally, in the DC Universe, we have Wonder Woman 26 from Tom King and Daniel Sampere. That's everything in the DC Universe this week. We got lots more Marvel to show you. Let's show you Marvel with the first Captain America number 4, Our Secret Wars Part 4. This series is written by Chip Zdarsky with interior art by Valerio Schiti and this Ben Harvey cover on A. Chip Zdarsky on B. I can't remember that, but it's cool. And a classic Jim Steranko tribute with a Muppets theme by Lisa Wu. We got a 1 in 25 from Gleb Melnikov. We got a penultimate issue of One World Under Doom, number 8 from Ryan North, R.B. Silva. That's a Ben Harvey cover on A. A very nice cover on B. And a 1 in 25. I'm not sure Cyclops is in this issue, but it's cool. Then we got a one-shot featuring Fantastic Four crossing over with the Gargoyles. This is written by the Gargoyles screenwriter Greg Weisman with interior art by Enid Ballum and a Torrin Clark cover. We get a 4th issue of Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe from Greg Duggan and Javier Garrón on art with a Mark Brooks cover. And the final issue of Incredible Hulk, number 30, Philip Kennedy Johnson, Nick Klein interiors, Nick Klein cover. Got a Martin Kokolo cover on B, and a Muppet 70 Years variant by Chrissy Zullo. Ooh, look, the new Punisher Red Band series gets a second print for #1 and a new issue for #2. Amazing Spider-Man continues from Joe Kelly, Ed McGuinness, and Todd Nauck on interiors. Got a Patrick Gleason cover on A, Corey Smith on B, Lee Bermejo Amazing Visions variant, and a Joshua Cassera Muppets 70th Anniversary Fantastic Four #13 tribute. And a 1 in 25 by Jay Anacleto. Moving on over, we'll get a second print of The Mortal Thor #1 with a Patrick Gleason cover. And a third volume of Ultimate Black Panther Volume 3. The boss is asking me, Gary Duggan? I think it's Jerry Duggan, but yeah, maybe Gary. Thanks for bringing that up. And moving over to the X-Men shelf, we have the first of several miniseries in the Age of Revolution. We got Iron and Frost from Cavan Scott with a Ryan Brown cover. Rogue Storm. This series takes the place of the Storm series with writer Ayodele with interior art by Roland Boschi and a cover by Humberto Ramos, Ivan Talavera, and Torque, Elizabeth Torque on the 1 in 25. Sinister 6 is a spin-off written by David Marquez and Lorero on interiors. Not sure who did the cover on this one. Oh, that's also a David Marquez cover. And moving over to Unbreakable X-Men #1. This series takes over the Uncanny X-Men series, written by Gail Simone with interiors by Lucas Verneck. Did this A cover, and a 1 in 25 by Jay Anacleto. Finally, on the X-Men shelf, we get a new epic collection of Wounded Wolf. This is collecting important issues from the Chris Claremont run with art and a cover by John Romita Jr. Interiors also include Arthur Adams, June Brigman, and Barry Windsor Smith. And that does it for the X-Men shelf and the Marvel Universe for this week. Got one more to show you, and that is the new issue of Star Wars Legacy of Vader featuring Kylo Ren versus Tava Ren. This is written by Charles Soule with interior art by Stefano Raphael and a Derek Chu cover. All right, that does it for this week's new comics, but I would like to thank everybody for coming out to the drink and draw last Friday at the Downey Brewing Company. We'll have another one in December. The boss remembers that date. She'll put that up in a minute. Also, I'd like you to put it on your calendar that we are a trick-or-treat stop for the downtown trick-or-treat this Saturday, October 18th from 2 to 5. Registration online or in person at the East Dearborn Peace Park in front of City Hall Art Space. That registration kicks off at noon, and there's also some other activities that are happening down in the park. Hope you can make it by. And also Saturday night is Frankenstein plus the Silent Frankenstein movie at the Senate Theater. That starts at 8 p.m. with some live pipe organ accompaniment. That's this Saturday, October 18th at 8 p.m. Super excited to see Frankenstein on the big screen. And then join me back here on YouTube for our final order report series featuring all the new comics going to print next Monday and giving you your last chance, your last call to put those orders in, either in person, by email, or through ComicHub. That'll start uploading Friday evening around 6 o'clock. All right, that was a quick one, folks. Thanks for coming back and enjoying this relatively normal perspective episode of BrainScan. We've got so much and so many exciting new comics to share with you this week. I hope that you can come by. Remember, we open early now on Wednesdays. We start up at 10 o'clock. That's just a half an hour from now. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope that we see you this afternoon at Green Brain Comics. Thanks for watching, folks.